Excited to talk about internalized racism and really define it. Psychologists often describe internalized racism as racism's most insidious consequence. I always like to start any presentation, every class that I like to do, with some kind of pop culture example. And wow, was there one recently that really felt relevant? I don't know if anyone out there is a fan or watches Love Is Blind. If you do, type in the chat, please. But Love Is Blind, if you don't know, is a reality dating show. It's on Netflix. It's unique. Participants date behind a wall, like in these pods, and try to develop an emotional connection with ever seeing the person kind of physically. So as you can imagine, I mean, race may or may not play a role there. It may or may not come up as something participants reveal in the Love Is Blind experiment. And so we actually had an Asian American man participate for one of the first times in Love Is Blind history this year. And his name is Patrick. I'm going to share a 2-minute video clip, and I would love to get your thoughts. Either type in the chat, or we'll also have some time to maybe raise your hand and unmute yourself and discuss. How do you see Patrick from this video clip potentially, one, exhibiting internalized racism, and two, if you were to help Patrick in your role, whether that's as a therapist or an advocate or an educator, if you're Patrick's kind of in a helping profession role for Patrick, how would you support him? How would you support him? So I'm going to show this 2-minute clip, and Jack, just make sure if the audio works, please. Thank you so much.
You remember I told you that like my parents aren't from America, right? Mm-hmm. So when I was younger, I mean, that was like an insecurity of mine.
Okay.
Just not being like accepted for like my ethnicity.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Colorado, so it's like I was like literally the only person like that in class.
And you don't want to share with me?
I don't mind sharing with you.
Okay.
Do you think I should share it with you?
Yeah, I think you should.
Like my ethnicity?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well...
Or where are your parents from?
Yeah, let me think this through for a second.
Okay. I'm wondering why you're so hesitant.
About it?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to, like, be judged for it, you know?
Okay.
But I can share it, Yeah, I mean, so my parents are, okay, so my parents are from South Asia.
Okay.
But I'm half Chinese, half Cambodian.
Okay.
So I just have the mix there. It's like South Asian and Chinese.
Okay.
Have you ever dated an Asian guy before?
No, I haven't. What? I'm just being honest.
No, that's fair. I'm just curious.
Well, I'm sorry you feel hesitant telling people that.
People say, like, you know, Asian guys aren't, like, the most attractive guys.
Yeah.
That's all. I've just had, you know, and I've had people say that.
Say that they're not attracted to you because you're Asian.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like, oh, you're pretty good looking for an Asian guy, though. Like, they don't know how much that hurts. I'll have a really deep emotional connection with somebody. Mm-hmm. Like, this is like in college or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, but he's Asian. Like, why would you date an Asian guy, you know? I'm just a normal guy from Colorado. I'm a complete Colorado bro. Yeah. Fishing, hiking, whatever, you know? I literally do every single thing that every Colorado person does.
Yeah.
Right, that's the end of the clip. I saw some comments in the chat. Please, again, type in the chat, or if anyone would like to share verbally, unmute themselves. What was it like watching that clip, and how is Patrick exhibiting internalized racism? What can we do to support him?
Can I go? Can you?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks,
Susan.
Jackie. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I've never seen this show. I know I'm old and I don't see the current shows, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I know why I can't watch this show. I'm getting so upset. He hesitated for such a long time. I mean, instead of just saying like, "Hey, this is where my parents are from," and it's clear that he's already experienced a lot of racism, so that would make him hesitant. I had a real problem with how she was handling. Yeah, you know, I just thought, oh my gosh, please don't date her.
Absolutely.
As his therapist, I probably I think that it's easier, I think, when I share an identity with someone where I can say like, yeah, I guess I'm trying to think of like validating for him about how society gives us all kinds of messages about how to be based on what we look like or how we should be as Asians. So I would do some validation, I think, and that would be the starting point, depending on how he did that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And given that contrast with what this other character, Casey, was kind of giving him, which was kind of not understanding the weight in which this really held in Patrick's heart about revealing his ethnicity and kind of everything that went along with his experiences up to this point. Yeah, absolutely. I see several folks either talking about feeling heartbroken or experiencing some anger watching this clip. Would anyone else like to share? Yeah, wanting to validate and affirm his identity. Yeah, absolutely helping him connect with his community. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I think one thing that stuck out to me was at the very end, him kind of justifying, saying like, I'm just a regular Colorado guy. I do everything that the Colorado guy, does everything like other people in Colorado, feeling that he needs to defend that. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, we can connect all of these to kind of the larger, again, racism's most insidious consequence. Sometimes it's seen as so subtle, so under the surface, but we'll really unpack kind of how this clip exemplifies internalized racism. Okay, well, let's keep brainstorming together and maybe thinking of Patrick as a case example as we walk through this presentation. So definition-wise, I mean, internalized racism can manifest in various ways, but broadly speaking, especially in the context of Asian Americans, internalized racism is when Asian Americans adopt these prejudice beliefs, these stereotypes and attitudes about their own racial group that are really, they emerge from living in a white dominant society, right? They emerge from kind of living and swimming in constantly a society that tells you you're inferior. And so internalized racism also looks like valorizing the dominant racial group, valorizing, valuing or idealizing kind of the white dominant racial group. And internalized racism for Asian Americans can be measured in various ways. I'll start with maybe one of the more blatant ways that internalized racism might manifest, which is through self-negativity. This is one of the most common ways that internalized racism has been measured in this community. And it's a survey in the sense of, you know, on a scale from 1, strongly disagree, to 5, strongly agree. How much do you feel like, I sometimes wish I weren't Asian? It's unfair that I was born Asian. My life would be better if I wasn't Asian. My feelings toward other Asians tend to be negative, right? So you can see how this is a pretty blatant form of potentially internalized racism, kind of seen through this self-negativity lens. But there's other ways. There's many other ways that internalized racism can manifest for Asian Americans. In particular, a lot of the literature has been done and led by Dr. E.J. David, a UIUC alum. He is really the leader in kind of studying internalized racism, particularly within Filipino American populations. He coined the term colonial mentality as kind of a certain manifestation of internalized racism. It has many parts to it, but one big part of it is this internalized sense of inferiority. So again, using survey measures, this is a very common survey measure to assess this, is, you know, how much do you agree with the statement? In general, I feel ashamed of the Filipino culture and traditions. I feel that there are very few things about the Filipino culture that I can be proud of. Or more broadly, there are situations where I feel inferior because of my ethnic and cultural background, or in general, I feel that being a person of my background is not as good as being white. So this internalized sense of inferiority is definitely a dimension here of internalized racism.